The top line in red is our relative position for our composite SOL scores for the county measured against the state. And if you are wondering, in 2012, Stafford County had the 15th best SOL scores in the entire Commonwealth. That's great. Now, I'm going to caveat this by saying that SOL scores are just one measure of our performance, and that there's lots of different ways to measure our performance, and it's tough to get wrapped up into test scores. But I will say that it is a measure of performance that's very publicly available and measured against the rest of the communities in the state. And there's 132 localities in the state. We were 15th in the state in 2012. Today, we're 68th in the bottom half. So we went from the top 15 to the bottom half. What, pray tell, was happening during that time? Well, I know that this is a savvy board, and this savvy board will tell me that correlation is not causation, and that is absolutely true. But our funding per pupil has also precipitously dropped during this same period of time, where we went from the middle of the pack at 79th in the state to 111th. We're up from last year where we were 112th, but we're at 111th at the bottom in terms of per pupil funding. Now, we're a Northern Virginia community with Northern Virginia cost of living, and we're at the bottom. Now, I fully recognize that there may not be causation, but I think that the correlation is pretty strong. And I think that there is a connectedness here that is worth exploring on a great level of detail. For us to be at the average, and I want you to keep this number in the back of your mind, for us to be at the average per pupil expenditure would mean that our budget would grow by an additional $73 million. Tonight, your budget proposal has a $62 million gap. So not even funding us at the state average, we would be able to accomplish a great deal more than we are accomplishing today. I would say that for us to improve, it is going to require investment. And we are going to need that investment in short order. So what happens if this trend continues? What happens if our performance continues to drop and our funding continues to drop, which seems to be very connected? Well, I can tell you that it will be more costly for us to recover the deeper we sink into this hole. And now imagine if we were actually funded appropriately. I have tremendous faith in the phenomenal educators that are in our classrooms, the leaders that are leading our schools, and the dedicated staff that are working behind the scenes to make great things happen for kids in Stafford County, but they need help. They need help paying their bills, they need help in their classrooms, they need additional bodies, and they can't do it all by themselves. They need additional assistance. And I think that we can provide that with some additional planning. Another strategy that we're all too well accustomed in Stafford County is how we treat our facilities and providing a safe and welcoming environment. You cannot tell the story of Stafford without telling the story of growth. We are the fastest growing school division in Virginia. One of the reasons that we are receiving an increase in the governor's proposed budget on our state revenue side is because of our growth, not because the state is being generous. So it is noteworthy for us to point out that there is a correlation too with our state revenue growth and our size growth, not necessarily because there is an effort to improve our standing. The two images on the left are no surprise to this board. This is a picture of a hallway at Hartwood Elementary School. This is where pull-out tutoring sessions are regularly occurring in our schools because they are crowded, and we need additional space. This was taken a year ago. We've added trailers to this campus since then to alleviate some of this pressure, but it's very real. Any guesses on where the bottom image is from? Oh, you're right, Dr. Chase. It is Drew Middle School. Good guess. I could see it in your eyes. You're absolutely right. This is some of the piping infrastructure from Drew Middle School. The infrastructure of our buildings desperately needs attention. And it is difficult for us to balance the ongoing growth with our ongoing need to maintain our buildings to make sure that they are safe and healthy. It is not sustainable at the pace that we are going right now without a substantial investment in our buildings.